Hey guys, Michael from TekHeadz here. When Tim Cook and the rest of the Apple bigwigs took the stage back in September, they had the whole world holding their breath, waiting for the announcement of what we now know is called the Apple Watch. And they brought the house down, especially when Tim Cook started the announcement using Steve Jobs' famous tagline, "One more thing." I gotta admit it gave me some chills. However, with no official release date for the watch in sight, today the TekHeadz crew is going to focus on Apple's second biggest announcement from September, their foray into replacing your wallet with your cell phone, with their own new mobile payment system they're calling Apple Pay.
Just like everything else Apple creates, Apple Pay is designed to be simple and make your life easier. Now, when you're at a store, instead of having to pull out your wallet to find your credit card, cash, or heaven forbid, a check, you simply hold your phone in front of the credit card terminal, use your thumbprint to authorize the transaction, and that's it. You're done. And Apple's been working really hard to make sure that the cards you want to use will be compatible with Apple Pay. They've already signed on the top credit card companies, as well as a ton of banks, with more constantly being added on. On top of that, Apple signed on some big-name retail and restaurant partners who are guaranteed to accept Apple Pay in-store, including McDonald's, Nike, and Whole Foods. Walt Disney World will even start accepting Apple Pay at their parks.
So anybody who actually watched the keynote or has done any reading about it knows that Apple is claiming that Apple Pay is the two things every mobile payment platform should be: fast and super secure. So is it? The TekHeadz crew went out into the real world and did our own testing, and here's what we think. So the first question that most people ask is, how do I get Apple Pay? Well, the bad news is, right now, it's only compatible with the new iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. Also the new iPad Air and iPad Mini, but that's for in-app purchases only, and we'll talk about that a little later. The good news is, if you have one of these compatible devices, you already have Apple Pay. It's built right in the Passbook in iOS 8. Just go into your settings and turn it on. Even better, Apple takes your default credit card from your iTunes Store account and automatically imports it to be used for Apple Pay. For any more credit cards you'd like to add, all you need to do is take a picture with your phone's camera and Apple takes care of the rest. There are a few banks that require you to contact them for final authorization, but I've done it and it's super easy.
So now that we've got a few cards loaded into our digital wallet, the TekHeadz crew went to grab some breakfast at our local Panera Bread, one of the restaurants on Apple's official Apple Pay partners list. We figured it was a good place to start. After we ordered, the credit card terminal displayed both the NFC logo as well as telling me I could tap or swipe my card. So here's my moment of truth. I held my phone up to the terminal, Passbook opened automatically with my default card, and I used my thumb to authorize the transaction. It worked flawlessly. For a better view, we found a Coke machine in the mall that had an NFC-enabled terminal. When your iPhone senses the terminal, it automatically opens Passbook and your default payment method. But once you're inside Passbook, you can easily swipe between your cards to choose the one you want, and then use your thumbprint to pay. It's really easy. Another benefit? Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Apple is allowing developers to utilize Apple Pay for in-app purchases as well, allowing you to quickly check out without having to repeatedly input all of your information.
Okay, there you have it. Apple Pay really is that easy and that convenient to use in a store. The only downside right now, there's not a lot of places that accept it. But that's no fault of Apple's. That's just retailers adopting NFC terminals, which I think we're going to see an influx of in 2015. So now the more important question. We know it's easy to use, but is Apple Pay as secure as Apple claims it is? The biggest fear to credit card holders today is getting their account number stolen. And right off the bat, Apple Pay negates this fear because Apple doesn't actually store your credit card number anywhere. Instead, after verifying with your bank that the credit card is actually yours, Apple generates a unique device-only account number, which it then stores in what they're calling the secure element, an encrypted part of the chip inside your iPhone. And after that, Apple basically steps aside. Every transaction you make is made between you, the merchant, and the bank, using a one-time purchase account number that Apple Pay generates. Apple never knows what you're buying, where you're buying it, or how much it costs, and all your information, including your name, is never transmitted.
And because your credit card number is never actually stored on your phone, if your phone is ever lost or stolen, you don't have to call your credit card companies to cancel all your accounts. Just use the Find My iPhone app or go to iCloud and disable your device.
So, for all you skeptics out there who are saying you'll never trust putting your credit card on your phone to use Apple Pay, think about it. Everything that we just talked about already proves that Apple Pay is a lot more secure than every time you enter your credit card number online to make a purchase. Every time you do that, you run the risk of a hacker either intercepting the data or the company who you're purchasing from gets their database hacked later down the road. Look what happened to Target last year. Now, stop and think. How many online retailers have your credit card number stored? Okay, so at the end of the day, I'm pretty confident that Apple Pay is everything that Apple claims it is. It's really easy to use, really convenient, and also really, really cool. More than once when I used Apple Pay to check out somewhere, the cashier looked at me like I was from a different planet. And I'm not going to lie, it was kind of awesome. But more importantly, it is really secure when you think about it. When you factor in the authentication via the thumbprint, when you factor in the data being stored on the secure element on the chip inside the phone, and when you think about the fact that Apple doesn't share any data at all with anybody, not your name, not your card information, not what you're buying or where you're buying it, I'm not too sure there's a more secure way to pay for anything. It's a really solid platform, and I'm standing behind it. I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest of 2015 will hold with the mobile payment platforms. I think Apple is going to be a catalyst that's going to drive the other mobile payment companies to step up their game. And I think you're going to see the demand from consumers wanting this to make more retailers want to start accepting NFC payments in their stores. And I think it's going to be a really good thing for everybody. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to see more like it, do us a huge favor, hit that subscribe button down below, hit that thumbs up button, share it with your friends. We'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.